Here at Mason, our classical education is really a means to an end. We are here to create virtue in our students. And that's our mission for classical education. You know, we increase our students' kind of level of intellectual acuity in order that they can engage in moral action. We provide them the raw materials to think so that they can do.
Classical education is picking the most enduring parts of our history and of our art and putting them into an education or a curriculum, a way of learning. I think that it's prioritizing the things that are really special, really enduringly beautiful.
I think the unique joy of classical education is that you're not just learning for the sake of knowing, you're not just learning for the sake of saying at another time, but as a student of classical education, you are investigating human nature, so you're investigating yourself.
The style of teaching and the topics we cover is very different than any other school.
So coming into Mason, it really offered me this whole new perspective.
Classical education inspires intellectual curiosity. It allows the individual to see beauty in the world, but more importantly, it allows the individual to create beauty in the world.
The thing I love about classical education is the trivium. The trivium so beautifully coincides with the way that the human develops, and it also lays out a pattern for anybody to learn anything at any age. So basically in the trivium you have like the grammar stage where you learn the basics of any subject. You learn the terminology, the definitions. Then you have the dialectic where you answer the questions how and why. And then the last stage is the rhetorical stage where you have an opportunity to teach or to create or to build on what you've learned.
We investigate the time-tested. And we don't just mean the old versus the new. We mean ideas and writings that have been around for generations, centuries. And why do we keep taking them off the shelf? It's because they are still interesting and relevant. We get to enter into this multi-generational conversation with humanity.
I think that the kids that are getting an education here, they're not as distracted as kids at other schools. They're not looking at their cell phones. They're not on a computer all day. They're looking at each other. They're absorbing timeless information. I think that it's such an efficient way of being educated as well, minus these distractions. They get distractions everywhere else. They get an influx, so much information all the time, and this is a place where their minds can just flourish.
MCA sometimes is criticized because it is somewhat rigid in enforcing their rules. It's a strict school, some might call it. I would say that what it's doing is creating a framework that allows education to take place.
MCA is actually designed to help a student succeed. The student code, the dress code, all of what seem like kind of strict rules and guidelines are actually designed to help a student focus more on their education, more on pursuing their interests, and less about what are they going to wear to school today, what are they going to do with their friends. It's about actually becoming the best version of themselves.
As I consider the students that we teach here, I mean, they come from everywhere and every socioeconomic background there is, all along the spectrum. But we expect the same thing from all of them.
My favorite thing about MCA is just the enormous sense of pride. When you walk in the door, the teacher's passion, everything just resonates so predominantly all throughout the school.
One of my favorite things is not only the sense of pride in the community that they have at the school, but everyone from the students to the staff to the teachers, everyone wants to be here.
The things that I've noticed in my kids as they've had their time here at Mason Classical is like they became better leaders, they became better friends, they came to value and to understand camaraderie and working together. And I think that's so beautiful, and I'm so glad that they've learned that. I've been surprised at their diligence. Their teachers are inspiring them to want to learn, and I don't have to push them. They want to do it, and they want to study.
At Mason, it's a family oriented around learning.
The ancient philosophers had a quandary. If the good man is self-sufficient by definition, why does he need friends? And Aristotle answered that question so that they could pursue virtue together. And in this school, there are no better friends.
We have the what, which is the time tested. We have the how, which is reason, inquiry, and dialogue. And we have the why, which is to pursue the good, the true, and the beautiful, in the hopes that in pursuing those things, our lives start to evidence the good, the true, and the beautiful.